Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone has had a fruitful and successful second day of the Capacity Building Hub. My name is Hayro Agopian, and I am a member of the Paris Committee on Capacity Building. The focus of today's events has been capacity building efforts for implementing the Paris Agreement with special emphasis on Articles 6 and 13. As our Executive Secretary, Mr. Simon Steele, highlighted in the opening ceremony of COP on Sunday, the focus of this year's conference is on implementation. Today, we have learned from the experiences, knowledge, and practices of organizations who are making strides in the implementation of the Paris Agreement. The importance of transparency has also been emphasized throughout the day's events. For example, the UNFCCC Transparency Team highlighted the importance of the media in communicating transparency and how transparency can ultimately make capacity building efforts for developing countries more effective, while also holding parties accountable through enhanced monitoring and reporting. Organizations like GIZ, BMWK also shared their knowledge and experiences on best practices for technical capacity building efforts in carbon pricing for implementing Article 6 of the Paris Agreement, and stressed the importance for individual level capacity building through internships and training programs. Likewise, GGI's experiences in implementing MRV systems in countries like Burkina Faso have been successful through their focus on country ownership and gender mainstreaming. We cannot forget about the importance of youth when building capacities, particularly in technical energy transitions, which was highlighted by an interesting range of speakers for the Commonwealth Secretariat's event. FAO and UNGO came together to emphasize the importance of transparency in land use and agriculture by sharing country-level experiences, particularly by building capacities for youth. We have also had the government of Peru and the Initiative for Climate Action Transparency, which collaborated to present the importance of developing solid national regulation to implement Article 6 of the Paris Agreement. Before I hand it over to GGI for a more detailed overview, I want to quickly recall what the Paris Committee on Capacity Building is and does. Established at COP21 in 2015, the PCCB seeks to address current and emerging gaps and needs in implementing and further enhancing capacity building in developing countries. To support the PCCB's mission and mandate, the committee launched the PCCB network in 2020 as a voluntary association of interested stakeholders engaged in climate-related capacity building. The PCCB regularly mobilizes the expertise of its network members at the regional level through PCCB side events, at the UNFCCC Regional Climate Weeks, through regular webinars and events throughout the year, but also at the international level through Capacity Building Hub at COPs. The Capacity Building Hub is a mandated event of the PCCB. It takes place each year at COP, with this year at the fourth hub to take place. Its objective ultimately is to showcase the variety of capacity building efforts which have taken place over the year by sharing information, experiences, and technical capacities to further climate action on a larger scale. To learn more about the PCCB and its network, make sure to check out two banners with QR codes that will redirect you to our web pages, which will give you more information. But for now over to GGI to give us overview of all that we heard today. Please.
Thank you very much, Hayro. So again, on behalf of the Global Green Growth Institute, it's an honor to have the privilege to wrap up the day, which is no easy task because of the wealth and richness of the discussions through these 6 sessions that we've heard. My name is Ingvild Solvang. I'm Head of Climate Action and Inclusive Development at GGGI, and I first and foremost wish to thank my colleagues who have followed the sessions online, particularly Siddhartha Nauri, who is our global MRV lead. And magically, we are here now informed by notes that have also appeared through the day. So there has been a tremendous effort put into the sessions, but also in the follow-up of the sessions from all the session leads to put key messages together, which in and of themselves will form a part of an important outcome of the week focused on capacity building here with the PCCB. So I think Jairo did a great job summarizing the day, maybe perhaps touch upon a couple of additional points and additional details, starting with the first session of the day, which was the UNFCCC focus on the importance of capacity by media. The role of the media in ensuring transparency, sharing reporting on climate action and progress with the general public in order to raise political accountability, political will, and public demand for ambitious climate action cannot be underrated. I think that was really concluded in that session. However, it is a difficult role of media to report on something that sometimes appear very technical, and to translate the technical reports of UNFCCC and other international and national and local stakeholders and institutions into a language that people understand in an environment that in some areas is shaped and framed by political tension, conflict, war, violence against environmentalists, and so forth. Also, it was brought up the issue of fake news and how to effectively communicate in the context of post-truth realities, which we know is a risk also to ambitious climate action. So I think that was a great session, and please, for all journalists out there, take a look at the recording and the report from that session. We heard from GIZ, as was mentioned, the experience of building capacity specifically linked to carbon markets and the various stakeholders involved in that, with a particular focus on young students and youth. We heard from storytellers, they call them in the panel, who discussed their concrete experience of being given opportunities to excel and advance at a very young age, perhaps even before you have any experience. Institutions like ours are providing opportunities to youth to build that required experience for people to excel in their careers in climate action, particularly in this German-funded SPAR6C, Spark project focused on capacity building and carbon finance. Similarly, GGGI focused on the various stakeholders and need for capacity building, and urgently need for capacity building in order to uphold that cycle under the Paris Agreement for reporting. So that was highlighted through various MRV transparency-related projects in Ethiopia, in Burkina Faso, and Uzbekistan in GGGI. We saw CSETs focused on youth. Again, very happy to see that several of the sessions today have been about engaging youth, and the links to higher ambitions and youth involvement was particularly highlighted in that session. The FAO shared their experience on knowledge and created tools for transparency implementation, and made sure that we all learn where we can access these transparency MRV-related tools in the AFOLO sector. And last but not least, we heard the front-running experiences that have been generated lessons for us in Peru. Peru, it was said, has been a front-runner. It is certainly a front-runner also in terms of GGGI's programs. So it was great to hear the public, private, community, multiple stakeholder engagements in the efforts in Peru linked to Article 6 and market mechanisms. So all in all, I think we can conclude that today has been perhaps the most important day of the week, which we may say every day. But it was really important. I think somebody said that, Article 6 was really hot at COP26. It certainly is very, very hot topic here at COP27 as well, alongside, of course, loss and damage and a few other things. But Article 6 keeps drawing the audience. And as we have showcased today, there is no Article 6. There are no market mechanisms without MRV. So that's how I also think it was very good for us to have these two articles and capacity building efforts linked to those two articles together in one day, so that we highlight also the fact that transparency efforts is really the backbone of achieving ambitious climate action, both for mitigation and adaptation, and then particularly if we do want to engage in ITMO transactions under Article 6, for example, MRV is, of course, really essential. So with that, I wish on behalf of GGGI to thank the PCCB for the collaboration today. Also thank all the session owners and panelists and speakers and the audience for joining us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for sharing overview of today's program. Last but not least, I would like to give you overview of the third day. So the third day of the hub will be taking place tomorrow under the theme of Just Transition and Sustainable Economies Day, a topic closely aligned with this year's focus area of the PCCB, and I hope to see you all there. The lead partners, the International Labour Organization and the World Resources Institute, together with other organizations, will deliver events which will explore capacity building efforts for a just transition towards environmentally sustainable economies. So make sure you stop by and join the sessions. I would like to once again give a heartfelt thanks to our lead organizer for today, the Global Green Growth Institute, for their efforts in planning and presenting today's events. Thank you all for being here and have a good evening.